every year thousands of cars crash in water-related incidents, and with extreme weather, it's only happening more. We're going to show you how to get yourself to safety. Matt Gutman is in Indiana with the Indiana State Police at their logistics facility and their underwater search and recovery team to show us all how it is done. Matt, we have been looking forward to this. Good morning to you.
Good morning to you, Robin, and I've been nervous about it because every year hundreds of Americans die when their cars crash into bodies of water like that retention pond, or they get swept away in a flash flood. And the tragic part of it is that so many of those deaths are preventable, which is why in just a couple of moments I'm going to be driving this car over that gravel patch right over there into that lake to offer folks some clear, concise tools that could mean the difference between life and death. I just want to give folks a sense of what all rescuers say. The best way to survive a sinking vehicle is not to get into the water in the first place. About a foot of water can sweep your car away. It can also clog your tailpipe, which means that your car might stall. But before we get started, I just want to give you a sense of all of the safety precautions that we've taken for me and the team. You can see the ambulance over there. Hopefully we don't have to use that. We have this wrecker right there that is going to pull the car out of the water. You can see our safety divers right there. And here, Jamie, you can see we've taken out the back window and put these tow bars in order to grab us out. So before we even get started, I want people to start thinking about this. Seatbelt windows out, and I'm going to get in the car right now before we get going. I have Gordon Giesbrecht with me. He is a vehicle submersion expert. He's got the camera, and back there, Dave Plug with the Indiana State Police, our scuba diver in the car. So I'm going to start this car. Hopefully this thing rolls. It does. And as we watch this piece, I want everybody again to think seatbelt windows out. We're going to get into starting position.
It's a frightening scene where every second counts.
Are you able to open your window?
Drivers trapped in their sinking vehicles
Shut right here.
as water rushes in. Atlanta police and fire finding this Uber driver, the water pressure against the door making it impossible to open.
Turn your head. Man, what kind of grass is that? There you go.
The driver later acknowledging he should have just pulled over.
There you go.
He and the drivers in all these cases survived. But a 2019 study revealing that over the course of a year, an estimated 7,900 crashes involved vehicles entering the water, resulting in 429 deaths. Gordon Giesbrecht is a renowned expert on surviving vehicle submersion.
When the water is even a foot or two above the bottom of the door, there's like up to 500 pounds of pressure. That's very difficult to push against.
This leaves the windows as your only exit, but many windows these days are made with laminated glass, which Giesbrecht says can render window-breaking tools ineffective, and in a panic, fumbling to find one could waste critical seconds. He says the best and often only way out is surprisingly simple. Immediately upon entering the water, take your seatbelt off and lower your windows, which will still work, but only for about 60 seconds. Then get out, making sure children go first.
You've got about 1 minute to get out of the vehicle. Do not touch your cell phone until you get out. It'll waste a lot of time and it might be too late. You've got to open the window and get out.
This driver in Texas making a common but often deadly mistake, attempting to drive through water that looks shallow on the surface, unaware of the hidden depth below.
You're driving into the creek. No, 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 no. Stop. Stop. No, no, no.
But even with that critical mistake, she does one thing right. She rolls down that window and gets out. A simple move that can mean the difference between a quick exit and a tragic ending.
All right, bud.
And so we're about to put this into practice. Gordon, you ready?
Ready to go?
Dave, you ready? Okay, we're going to hit it. We're going to try to hit about 25 miles an hour before we hit that ramp. Hopefully, I hit it right. There we go. And here we go. Hey, hold on. Okay, so, I mean, it's a pretty terrifying thing for this to happen. The first thing you want to do, take the seatbelts off and try to make sure that window goes down. But you have to remember that you have a few seconds. So the one thing I do not want folks to do at home is to reach for your phone. It could take up to 15 minutes for rescuers to get to you. This is going to have to be about a self-rescue. Folks are going to have to get themselves out. Okay, so we've all taken out our seatbelts. Don't think about punching out the doors. Just do that. All right, we're starting to take on water. So what you're going to want to do is climb up onto the roof of the car. And once you're up here, it'll give you a bit of time to regroup. You can survey where you are. Also, for rescuers, it's a lot easier to see someone on the roof of a vehicle like this than it is if you're swimming in the water. Now, if you're in swift water and it seems like the car is starting to drift away, you do not want to be swept away. You want to start scanning for a tree, a rock, a lamppost, something to hold on to, and then get into the water. That is something that is critical. So I think this, it gives you a sense that this car is still holding pretty well and hasn't sunk yet. Robin?
All right, well, we're glad everybody is safe there. And Matt, if you're not able to, as you said, you know, because some people have those braking tools in their car, but if you don't have that and you can't get your window down and the glass doesn't break, what are the next steps? Then, hey.
Yeah. I think we're starting to take on some water.
Yeah.
But now, I'm going to jump in the water right now. I'm going to come right on to you.
Sergeant Chris Lockman is with us as well, the dive commander with the Indiana State Police. So while Matt is getting back to shore, Sergeant, what do you tell the public in these types of situations, sir?
So just as Matt has said, the Indiana State Police tells the public and people we train to really go with the SWOC method. It's simple. Just as he said and did, you take your seatbelt off first. Once the seatbelt's off, you roll your window down. Your next step is to get out of the vehicle. And if you have any children in the vehicle, make sure you grab those children and make sure they're ready to get out as well before you exit the vehicle.
All good advice there, Sergeant. And Matt, are you okay, Matt? You good?
So, Robin.
Okay.
I'm good. To answer your question, it's a really good question.
All right.
You do not want to rely on those window breaking tools as your first line of defense. Oftentimes, you don't know where it is in the car, center console, glove compartment, and also a lot of newer cars have laminated windows. It's much harder to break through with that. Now, if you're stuck in a car and the windows aren't going down, you can also try to go through the back hatch, especially in an SUV like that. I urge folks to familiarize themselves with how to open the back tailgate. But again, the most simple tool is seatbelt, windows out. You saw that the windows work like 15, 20 seconds after we hit the water. So that is the best method that experts say everybody at home should use. Robin.
Hey, Matt, what about if you have electric vehicles, which more and more people are driving these days?
There haven't been that many studies that have done it, but we understand, and from watching anecdotally, from watching video of it, that they also seem to float in the water for enough time, and their electrical circuits should work for long enough for people to use the exact same method, seatbelt, windows out. Robin.
Okay, how are you doing right now? Because the reason I'm asking is that we read his book, and anxiety is something he's dealt with over the years. And so for you to be able to do this, Matt, are you okay?
I'm great. I mean, that's the kind of thing that I love to do. And, you know, but it does actually give me some insight into how people feel when they crash into the water in the first place, how easy and understandable it is for people to panic. And that's why we urge folks to know you have a little bit of time.
Yeah.
You're not going to die right away. The car is not going to sink immediately. You can get out of there with those easy to remember tips. Robin.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you, Matt. Okay, you made me think of my mama. One time I was on live and I was working with Diane and bombs were going off. I was like Baghdad or something, and she kept talking to me and my mom was screaming at home, "Shut up, Diane! Let my girl run!"
But I watched him try to catch his breath because that was one heck of a swim that he did. Yeah. But the shock on everyone here in the studio's face when he hit the water, you could see why someone could easily panic.
And how quickly it began sinking. He thought he was okay.
Then all of a sudden, man.
Yeah.
He thought fast too.